7 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's all about the money with Nhlanhla Makhanya.
Welcome back to It's All About the Money right here on Vuma FM, adult radio for the young at heart. Igama lami Nhlanhla Makhanya, and if you're joining us for the first time, we've just tuned in. You've joined us at the perfect time. We're about to dive into a conversation about one of the most interesting and important financial instrument in our community, which is Stokvels. With us is a dear friend of the show, Jabulani Khanyile, a champion of social economics and philanthropist who has seen firsthand the power of collective saving and investing. Mr. Khanyile, sikubingelele sikwamukele namhlanje kwisihlo.
Angibingelele mfowethu ebusuku, ngibingelele nabo bonke abalaleli bohlelo lwakho namhlanje ntambama kwiVuma FM.
We are talking Stokvels, and I would like to term it a proudly South African culture. And for those, Mr. Khanyile, abanga familiar with the concept, or perhaps only know Stokvel just by name. Mhlambe awusihlahlele with us, mhlambe share with us the spirit of what a Stokvel represents, especially in the context of umphakathi.
First of all, there is a lot of alarming view when it comes to the Stokvels, and also the fact that it's the biggest money that society are putting together, but not to maximize their opportunities to control the economy, and yet they are having that power in the palm of their hand. To just give you a perspective, Stokvel is representing 49 billion industry. And if you think 49 billion, that is in the hands of our community in South Africa, and yet we are busy fighting over job opportunities. And we do have 49 billion in our disposal, and that has been channeled in 8 different types of Stokvels. And if one could be able to have an opportunity to access that money, you can make a lot of difference in our society.
For sure.
In 2021, in 2020 in particular, in March, when we started to experience the COVID and then the lockdown, there is a lot of companies that were closed, which were 1 billion worth of companies per year. With that in mind, we could have resurrected 49 of those 1 billion companies if we said all the Stokvels contribution must go straight into the market and resurrect those businesses. The participants of Stokvels people will be owning shares to 49 companies that are 1 billion. Let me take you into perspective. There is a number of traditional Stokvels. Those are Stokvels where people put money together so that at the end of the year they go and buy grocery and share. We call that a traditional Stokvels. And now there's new Stokvels that is called investment Stokvels, where people are putting money together to help themselves to buy cars, so to buy livestock, to buy shares in various BEE possibilities. When those kind of possibilities come to people's disposal, they go and divide that money and buy shares. That becomes now investment Stokvels, which were not there in some years ago. There is also normal Stokvels which are known, but we're calling them ama society, ama funerals Stokvels. Makushoniwe bazofika bephethe ukudla, bephethe ama cold drink, bephethe zonke izinto bezonikeza lo abadlala naye istokfela sokuthi mawushonelwe unikezwe yonke into. That's also traditional Stokvels. Esesine ile sekuthiwa ama-saving clubs, ila kuthiwa khona hayi thina sibeka nje 100 rand njena sibakhohlwe sibabone ngo-December, back to school labo, and there's those kind of saving club Stokvels. kunalezi upmarket ke manje lezi kubizwa ukuthi ke ama-holiday stokvels. They get together ukuthi sifuna ukuya Mauritius. How can we put money together so that we go as a club to go and relax in Mauritius? It's tourism, but they put money together for holidays. So now that is holiday stokvel. Kunasidala-ke futhi esikhulu esivele nathi sikhona ekwakuthiwa umaholisana. That stokvel is still there. Ukuthi bathiwa hayi mina ngeke bafowethu ngifuna ukuvusa umuzi kababa, so therefore ke umholo mawuzuza ngamina ngithenga ama-blocks. So that maholisana is an old system and still there and still continuing ngoba ila kwakusekuthiwa kuyabanjiswana khona. And there's one gentleman who just changed the paradigm now by the name of Nicholas Manyike. He is based in Mpumalanga. He started a complete new something that did not exist. Only started in 2021, and this guy he learned from the issues of COVID, and he started a property stokvel investment. And they are putting together 2,000 a month, and is gunning for 100 people. And every time when you think of that now, it means 210,000. 2,100 times 100, it gives them 210,000 per month. Times that by 12, it gives them 2.5 million, and they buy properties. They buy apartments. Just imagine the mothers are getting together and raise these 2.5 million a year, and they buy apartments in the Bank of the Sea in Durban, and they rent them out for 30,000, 40,000 a month. Now, when they have got that first apartment, then they go again with another 12 months by taking all the savings of money that they've made because they bought that apartment for 2.5 cash. So therefore, they're generating income from that, and they continue with this 2,100 every month. How much properties a black person would own. The last one also was just now changed also the paradigm, is the one that was created by Mr. Tsepomoli from Soweto, who started an app called Stokvel app. That was a complete change of the whole Stokvel paradigm, because you can download the app and be able to use it for your Stokvel, or you become part of his Stokvel group using that app. And he saw an opportunity that people does not have means of managing the Stokvels, and now he saw an opportunity in terms of those maladministration, and he created an app. And by virtue of having that app, people can have meetings of their Stokvels anywhere and everywhere they want. They can look at the deposit. If the treasurer says today, I've deposited the money in the bank, automatically everybody will see from the app. And if also they are all supposed to be doing EFTs or deposits, everybody as they deposit, it reflects from the app. So that was a complete new digital way of doing Stokvels. So those are the kind of 8 Stokvels that are common in South Africa lately, and there are people, unfortunately one of them also last year, who just poke the communities to say, why do we also start now a farming Stokvel where we all now help each other to buy cattle, so that each individual will go back to the old basic, where now we are saying, let's put money to vusa isibaya zawo baba. So ke asikaze ke senzeke, angasiboni futhi nakhona siqala sirolla out. But I remember last year when I poked the people from my social media account, there were a lot of people who say, Mr. Khanyile, call a conference, let's start that, because we all want to foya. Siyafuna futhi ukuthi mhlambe ko start to farming estate where we're walking into a beautiful houses that we own, and it's a farm inside it. We can walk in the morning looking at our cows. That was also a Stokvel concept that could be converted into legacy and wealth.
It's fascinating to see how Stokvels KZN have evolved over the years. I mean, Jabulani Khanyile, from Bureau Society to now investment clubs. More and more South Africans are turning to old and trusted Stokvels, not only to save, but for help during tough times kakhulukazi just bonile nange COVID ukuthi kubaleka kangakanani ukuthi ube na sort of some savings la ozokhona khona ukuthi usizakale makuthiwa khona ingqinamba eqhamukayo. Siyaqhubeka nengxoxo masibuya nobaba Khanyile isikhathi asikho kodwa ke sizozama ukuthi sirephape. I think Khanyile mangibuya ngifuna sibheke quickly indaba ye structure versus of those of my unit trust structures and ETF structures, which are very similar to that of a Stokvel.
Attention, attention!
Ain't nothing like the frequency you tuned into right now.
So let's get ready to rumble!
Vuma FM, adult radio for the young at heart. It's all about the money.
When the IMF and the World Bank were created in...
All right, welcome back to It's All About the Money here on Vuma FM, adult radio for the young at heart. In case you're wondering, who do we have today as a special guest? We have our friend of the show, Mr. Jabulani Khanyile. Jabulani Khanyile is not a stranger, but a champion of social economics and philanthropist who has seen firsthand the power of collective savings and investments. I'm glad that he's mentioning that he's been called to call a conference so that we can talk about these things. Baba Khanyile isikhathi sethu hlezi sisincane kakhulu kodwa ke ngiyakujabulela ukuthi uyakumention that people are calling for this unity. Ngiwasesibonile ukuthi ama Stokvels are diverse and angasiza kakhulu, and we see they are here to stay. Now help us then when we talk about the structure of a Stokvel versus that of a fund manager structure. Why might someone choose that of a Stokvel over a fund manager? And if a fund manager is such a big fund, it is also umfelandawonye. All funds are collectively put together.
One, le ndaba ye Stokvel phela into eqhamuke nomuntu omnyama. Wakhuluma ngaloko funding manager bavele bathi ufuna ukudla imali yethu ngoba abayazi le nto, bayazi isilungu. iStokvel saba yinto eyasungulwa abantu abamnyama ngenxa yosizi ukuthi uma unosizi asihlanganyele ndawonye sibambisane ngoba iyona ndlela esikhule ngayo, iyona ndlela esenza ngayo. Yingakho namanje usibona sihluleka iStokvel ukufika upgrade ukuthi sifike esigabeni sokuthi sibe kwi-funding management type of a scenario. Kodwa ke ziningi into esezenziwe njengamanje ngithethe National Stokvel Association of South Africa, iNASASA. So ke iNASASA iyona regulator indlela iStokvel efuna ngabe zisebenza ngayo. And okwesibili uma uneStokvel ufanelekile ungabe uyayithatha imembership yeNASASA ukuze kukwazi ukubukwa indlela osebenza ngayo nangendlela wena ukuthi uhambisana nayo ni inqubomgomo yeNASASA ngoba iyona imvamisa ibiza lezi inqungquthela, and ne website yabo bayamemezela ama-content ezintsha ezikhona, and now ama members eStokvel ehlukahlukene bayakwazi uku-affiliate ngaphansi kwabo, and sebe nezinto eziningi ke sebezenzile behlangana nazo lezi inkampani ezinkulu ezama regulator kanye nalezi ezinkulu futhi ezidila nokuphathwa kwezimali. So ke yonke leyo nto ikhomba ukuthi iStokvel siyaqala ukurecognizewa now eSouth Africa njengento enemali eningi, kodwa uhulumeni angakwazi ukubeka isandla sayo kuyona agcine seyifaka intela ngoba imali isakhiwo esakhiwa abantu ngenxa yenhlupheko.
In case you're wondering, it is now 4 minutes before 8 o'clock. Our special guest is a friend of the show, Mr. Jabulani Khanyile, who's a social economic philanthropist. Most people, they do belong to certain Stokvels. In fact, they said that 20% of South African working class, they belong to some Stokvel. Hence, it has grown to that 45 billion rand industry. Now, Baba Khanyile, as we move towards the end of our discussion, what can you tell us about the importance of what they call common bonds between Stokvel members, be it through work, family, friendship? How does the impact the success, how does it impact the success of Stokvel ukuba umfela ndawonye strong in closing kulabo abadecidile ukuhlangana?
Stokvel is one of the most important things that South Africa should in fact embrace. And in actual fact, we need, as I've said, we need to have these kind of conferences where we are bringing on board a number of role players to convert Stokvel into community banks. Because if we can invite Reserve Bank to be part of the Stokvel society and provide some regulatory framework, if we are going to rotational Stokvels, ama savings, ama grocery, ama investment, ama burial, ama social clubs, ama holiday clubs, guys, put this money into this particular community bank, which could be called Stokvel Community Bank. This particular bank, lingawa sharp hands ama Capitec Bank, because lingaba nemali enamandla engaphindi izalele bona labantu abama shareholders a lot of interest. In that interest, you've changed their way of thinking, you've changed the way in which of just doing this for fun, but you make them to be part of the economic mainstream. Yilokho efuna siguqula ukuthi asikwazi ukuphatha imali engaka kodwa bese kuthi njalo ngoDecember siyoyinikeza uMr Naidoo, kuthi njalo ngoJanuary siyoyinikeza uMahomed. Akekho umuntu omnyama ophethe 49 billion okuthi makuDecember athi mina ngenxa yeStokvel ngithole u200 million. Ngeke khohlwa bonke ubathola bejewish kulaba abanye bohlanga beyothenga ama rice, beyothenga ukudla, beyokwenza ukuthi even nalezi inkampani underwriter, even wona uqobo lwawo ama burial societies, they don't invest back. Why do we not come up with our own a system where we're creating our own burial society, we're starting our own underwriting company, we start engaging these big companies to say, in terms of a PE component, you're supposed to be using us and platform us and empower us and train us, take us to these national credit regulator and be able to make us to be compliant, help us also to get these RE1 to RE4, RE5 to RE1 ukuze sikwazi nathi ukusebenza ngendaba zezimali silekele abakwenzi because they benefiting, but labantu beStokvel bawukhiye kwezomnotho eNingizimu Afrika, but yet they are totally undermined.
Mr. Jabulani Khanyile, he is the socio-economic philanthropist. Thank you so much for your time, and ngiyathemba ukuthi that call you're going to really listen to the call with this national conference where we call in all these Stokvels and members by empoweration. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu mfowethu, nami ngishiya kuyingapha sengiyibekile asigijime naye.
7 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's all about the money with Nhlanhla Makhanya.